He became more studly the more eggs he ate. Because testosterone is 95% by weight cholesterol. So, when you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, and you go from cream and butter and eggs and lard to margarine and cooking oils, and you take drugs to lower your cholesterol, there's nobody home. So, ladies, if you want your man to be studly, 6 to 10 eggs a day. Now, they cannot be fried. They can be soft poached, they can be soft boiled, they can be soft scrambled in butter, not margarine or oils. And I can tell you from personal experience, I'm 71 years old and 10 eggs a day works. Hooah! See, now the ladies, gentlemen, the ladies understand what I'm talking about. Cholesterol that plugs the arteries, what is it? It's inflammation caused the arteries by eating fried foods and eating oils and processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. All the things that turn into trans fatty acids, even at room temperature. You go to a restaurant, well, we're very careful to ask, we want salad, but we want it dry. We don't want any dressing on it. You know, when I go to a restaurant, I have all my eggs poached. At home, I'll soft scramble my eggs in butter because I know I'm using butter. If I ask the cook in an IHOP or a Denny's to scramble my eggs in butter, you know what they're going to do? They're going to use honey that tastes like butter because it's cheaper. And they think they're doing me a favor because it's, you know, it's an oil or a margarine. I want to be like George Francis. It'll be 112, at least. Okay? So the secret killer is not cholesterol. How many of you heard of the Saturday Evening Post? See, young people don't even know it. I thought it was a dead magazine. Ted, I didn't even know it still existed. This is a May-June 2012 issue, cover article. Pill shocker, cholesterol meds may be useless. They left out 2 words. They should have said cholesterol meds may be useless and dangerous. Article's title was The Cholesterol Conundrum. One of the doctors interviewed for the information in that article said, everything you've heard about cholesterol and heart disease is wrong. Who told everybody that? Doctors. And then a summary of speaking to 12 different doctors. These authors of this article spoke to 12 different doctors who were primarily heads of the departments of cardiology at medical school, said, here's the summary, cholesterol levels are actually a fairly weak predictor of who will have a heart attack. What? What? Now this is just the opposite of what they said even 2 weeks before this article came out. Now I said this in 71 and they thought I was an idiot. Now they're saying what I said 41 years earlier. Okay? Cholesterol levels are actually a fairly weak predictor of who will have a heart attack, because that's true. Cholesterol has nothing to do with a heart attack. You saw this one earlier. Now this will mean something to you. Good cholesterol, not so beneficial. Higher HDL, high density lipoproteins, the good cholesterol levels don't reduce heart attacks. Lower your cholesterol of any kind, good or bad, doesn't reduce heart attacks because it doesn't cause it. You spent $1 trillion a year for 50 years for nothing. You spent all that money and all that energy and all that consideration and eating stupidly, and you're ranked 92nd in the world in healthfulness. 60th in longevity. That's what you got for following the doctor's instructions. All these illiterate people out there doing just the opposite of what doctors say, just because they're illiterate, live to be 112. Pediatricians want in on the largesse now. They want to get the kickbacks too, so they're going to start giving 8-year-olds statin drugs to lower their cholesterol, because they think if we lower the cholesterol levels in kids 8 years old, we'll prevent heart disease in adults. And what you're going to say is, no! Do not let them give your kids cholesterol-lowering drugs, because they will die before they're 20 and you will be standing at a gravesite burying your children. And the last thing I'm going to share with you is my favorite article on cholesterol. We'll talk about high blood pressure and I'll be done. This is the last one on cholesterol, but it's my favorite article on cholesterol. Normal cholesterol in an 88-year-old man, let's call him Frank, who eats 25 eggs a day. Published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This is not a big study, this is a case report, but it's very valuable. This guy, Frank, goes in, 88 years old, for his annual physical, and Dr. Kern, who's a clinical doctor in the outpatient clinic at Harvard Medical School, which teaches young doctors how to be doctors and That's scary. And Dr. Kern comes to Frank and says, look, you're in pretty good shape for 88 years old. Man, we couldn't find anything wrong with you. I'm going to reward you. I'm going to give you a prescription of Viagra. And so Frank stands up and kind of lifts up his belt, and throws his shoulders back and says, well, I'm pretty good in that area. I don't need no Viagra. So the doctor says, really? What do you do? What do you do to be good in that area? He says, well, I eat 25 eggs a day. And the doctor says, what? The doctor's having a heart attack. What? You eat 25 eggs a day? So the doctor runs back into the lab and he reruns it himself. He couldn't believe the numbers. So he comes back and says, well, your blood cholesterol is 190 without medication. And why do you eat 25 eggs a day? He says, well, it makes me more studly. Now I want you to think about it. How many of you have heard of estrogen and progesterone? Okay, that's 2 steroid hormones. How many of you have heard of adrenal hormones? Okay, that's another steroid hormone. How many of you have heard of testosterone? It's another steroid hormone. Those 4 hormones are steroid hormones. And they're 95% by weight cholesterol. So you go on a cholesterol restricted diet, you take cholesterol lowering drugs, and there ain't nobody home anymore. Okay? You have erectile dysfunction. That's why they have so many ads on TV after 10 o'clock at night. There's Bob selling Enzyte. And the one I really love is Cialis. This couple on the beach in the bathtubs. Now their genetic line is going to die out. They're very stupid. You got to be in the same bathtub before there's the right moment. I mean, 2 slabs of cast iron in between, there ain't nothing going to happen. No matter how good your erection is, right? Now, so you eat 6 to 8 eggs a day, and Ted's and his wife Nasima, Brandy, they always eat with me a lot on the road. When I go to these places, I'll have a big steak. If it's breakfast time, I'll have 4 eggs that are poached with a big hamburger patty or breakfast steak. And you can see all the people in the place are eating their organic multigrain waffles looking at me. And they don't even know it. They're dead men walking. So you take your 90 essential nutrients. We actually have an aphrodisiac called Drive. It's a little capsule, and the main ingredient is an herb in it. It's an Asian herb called Harney goatweed.
Hey, Patricia, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How are you?
Well, I'm good, thanks. So what's up?
Well, I have 2 clients with 2 different questions, and one is relatively easy. The listed on your website, I'm not sure I found one who wants to know about treating ED, that he's taking somebody to help him with his ED. I don't know if you have one already or not.
I can't remember whether I've done a standalone webinar on erectile dysfunction, but I'll tell you off the top of my head what our take on it is. Remember, in the context of longevity, in the context of this radio program, we don't treat disease. So when someone has erectile dysfunction, it would be prudent to give their hormones support. Well, as it turns out, all steroid sex hormones in the human body are made from cholesterol, right? So the recommendation is, eat 12 eggs a day, eat a stick of butter a day, eat the skin, throw the chicken away, eat a diet that's high in cholesterol, eliminate the 10 bad foods, take the 90 essential nutrients appropriate for body weight with extra essential fatty acids, right? So I would do the Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. I do 1 of those. I do 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Add to that 1 bottle of multi-EFAs per month and a diet high in cholesterol, and he should be fine, no problemo.
Okay, awesome.
Also, I've had feedback from people in the field that ProstFX is valuable here in order to help male libido, that the ProstFX is not to be overlooked. So to that program for a couple months, I would add 2 bottles of ProstFX per month.
Okay.
And now, we don't want to overlook the obvious, right? But also, especially if this person is elderly, 5 will get you 10 that they're on a cholesterol-lowering statin drug. So they need to have a strong conversation about that because, there's a direct relationship between those two. That's just common sense. Statin drugs lower cholesterol levels. If you don't have enough cholesterol, you're going to have erectile dysfunction. So there you go.